brand and all that nice shit. They got about 22 before before anything happens. Am I right, Tony?
You might be right, but
I'm on to something.
When you're wrong, damn it. You're on the Podguyz Podcast. Hello, everybody in the streaming world. We're the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you live as we do, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. Twinge early, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, fresh from his stint with Adam from the Masters of the Universe, Le Sparky.
And Sparky, I guess he saw the He-Man movie. Sparky says, hi, the H is for He-Man. The I is, and I am not going to see the He-Man movie because I probably already saw the cartoon. The book was better, Tony. The book was better. Be one of those book was better people. You know who they are. We know who they are. Tony, we have a fourth square.
We do?
Yes, it looks like Joe Scrocca. Am I saying that right, Joe?
Perfect. Most people butcher it. That's great.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Italian
Joe
last
Sunoco,
name.
Joe
Sunoco.
Yeah.
Corolla.
So
there's no L there. It's Joe Scrocca.
Yeah, I know. But people, it reminds me when I did a show in Norfolk, Nebraska. Mm-hmm. It's spelled Norfolk, but they call it North Fork. So, I can understand now why people could call me, Sunoco.
Bunch of corn huskers out there in Nebraska.
Damn inbred bastards.
A lot of corn small talk is what I'm suggesting.
Those people need comedy because they have nothing else. I mean, I would shoot myself if I lived there.
Yeah, that's why they let everybody have a gun out there, just to keep them, just to keep everybody's, trigger on the finger on the trigger sort of thing, just ready to roll. So there is comedy out there in the Midwest, East Coast, West Coast. Comedy is just about everywhere except for California now, where Joe just lost being the mayor of LA.
No,
Joe.
Yes, Joe Scrocca's
I didn't know I was running.
Yeah, well, everybody voted for you instead of Spencer Pratt. They mailed in their votes, and it all said Joe Scrocca on them. So I was wondering if it was you or if it was just a different Joe Scrocca.
I don't think there's only one other Joe Scrocca, and he's an Army major.
Then it's definitely not either one. Well, people are just writing in names through ballots and throwing them in there just to fuck over Spencer Pratt, the fraud in L.A., California, I guess. Some lady with the last name Ramen can make it a comeback because they told the homeless population, what would you like for food? And they checked ramen on the fucking thing. And that's how we're getting all these extra votes for her. That's my theory though, Tony. I'm not one.
That's how Joey Donuts won in Jersey.
Joey Donuts is one of the best to feed the homeless in Jersey. It's just people are still waiting on their donuts, but they'll have to wait 4 more years to vote for him again to get the goddamn thing. So, yeah. Joe, you are a stand-up comedian. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 16 years. How long have you been at it there, my man?
2.5 years. I woke up one morning in December 2023. I was sick of dating crazy women. I said, I want to do something fun. Let me try stand-up comedy. So I had a friend that had a comedy club down in Wildwood. It's not there anymore, but it was called Old Movies by the Sea. Jeff Levine. I don't know if you guys knew him. And I said to him, Jeff, I want to do 5 minutes. He says, well, send me a tape. So I sent him a tape. I didn't know what the hell I was sending him. And he said, yeah, I like your stuff. Come in, you have your 5 minutes. I said, okay, great. I have to find an open mic because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Where do I stand on stage? How do I handle? Yeah. So I found an open mic in Absecon, New Jersey that got canceled the day before it was on. So then I had to run up to Tom's River and do an open mic. And it was at a pub that turned out to be a hangout for one of the notorious New Jersey motorcycle clubs. So my first audience was a notorious New Jersey motorcycle club.
Nice.
Yeah. Nothing says loving by getting either heckled, booed, or cheered on by bikers.
Believe it or not, they were ignoring me and planning their next crime and back in the corner. So nice. But it was still intimidating because all I had to do was say one wrong word, watch the heads turn, and I wouldn't have made it out there in one piece. So
I feel like bikers would get away with more crimes if they had quieter ways of getting out of it, like instead of just... all right, everybody got silencers on their guns and silencers on their mufflers now. We're going to get away real quiet. and no one's gonna fucking hear a thing.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they all had mopeds?
They should.
I was thinking Priuses.
Oh, Prius, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, they make
the silent getaway.
Make the bikers woke as fuck and just have them with man buns and e-bikes and shit and go driving around. And, their guns are just metaphors, like
Rosie O'Donnell flannels.
Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell is back in the news, Tony. She's back in America. Everybody was asking her. They said, why did you come back to America? And I guess the world says that they can't have an overtilt of comedians that are lesbians on one side. So Ellen's already in England. So they had to, export Rosie O'Donnell to America again. Yeah. Paula Poundstone is their god, Paula Poundstone. Yeah. She's that tie wearing. Now if anything, I guess Drew Barrymore kind of took over Ellen's role as the super positive white kind of quirky-ish person on daytime television.
Daytime TV.
Yeah, for men who are basically either on disability or, they can't get a job for some odd reason, are really close to retirement and they're just going to slide into Social Security. They enjoy watching Drew Barrymore because they know that she's officially out of their league and they're okay keeping their ambitions high,
No, she just got a divorce, didn't she?
Drew Barrymore?
No, Ellen
Divorced. Come on now. What child would divorce her?
Isn't Ellen coming back too? I thought her place in England got damaged, like major flood damage.
So she has an active subpoena out for her in America. During the Puff Daddy trial for trafficking women and all that nice stuff. You didn't know that, Joe?
I didn't.
Yeah, so she fled the country to England and said, "Oh, that's all a bunch of bull crap. I retained my innocence." They wanted her for questioning. She still has active warrant out there in LA County. For her participation in trafficking women and helping Sean P. Diddy Combs in the whole situation. Now, Sean P. Diddy Combs, he's going to be doing about 1 day of probation, one day of probation per victim in that scenario. But Ellen was named all over the place and irrefutable evidence, so she fled to England and quit her daytime TV show. Wow. Which is kind of what you do when you're trafficking people, but Roman Polanski did the same thing when he had been caught with a bunch of child porn of himself. He was such a great director that he ended up, directing himself into fucking kids and all that nice crap. And then, he went he's still alive in Poland right now. Meanwhile, Charlie Manson wanted to murder him because he thought he felt some evil aura going on way back in the 60s. But instead of focusing on Roman Polanski's younger female relationships, you got a guy walking around with a swastika tattooed on his forehead and a bunch of wacky bullshit going on that was a lot more interesting to pay attention to than the Polish pedophile Roman Polanski.
One of the murders, right? One of the murders that Manson did was in Polanski's house, right?
They were looking for Roman Polanski. They weren't really looking for Sharon Tate. They needed her to exit the household, and things got a little messy because, when you're a cult leader like Charlie Manson and you send a woman in to do something, or you send two women in to do something, one to drive and one to fuck
shit
up
gets done,
and one to fuck up the murder. Nothing got done.
Oh, nothing got done.
You bitches, you killed the wrong person.
How dare they?
And my meatloaf is cold. My God, this is bullshit.
Didn't even clean the toilet.
Yeah, as different as Charlie Manson tried making his culture, he sure had some old-fashioned values of just sending women out to do some fuck. Now, to their defense, Joe, they didn't have much direction. You didn't tell me how to murder. How dare you? Every time I fuck up a murder, you yell at our faces, Charlie, while fucked up on acid again.
You must hate me.
How dare you? I don't do anything right. They're all hormoned out and shit. It's
you never listen to me.
Yeah.
But no, that. So let me ask you a question. So with the thing with Ellen, how come they can't extradite her? They can extradite from England.
Well,
so that's so the extradition is not. It's okay. So if it was nationwide, right now, this is just state of California. California attempted to get extradition out of England. England denied it, and California did not furtherly pursue it. So she was just a sub channel into the idea. So she was not the main event.
Pretty good.
Yeah, she was not. She was not the. If she was like, if she was Puff Daddy or whatever, if that was the person, then they can get her. But this is just like a side thing. If she enters California, they'll arrest her.
Now go with the weird facts, right? The weird facts are that she moved over to England with Portia de Rossi, her wife. Mm-hmm. Then, as soon as the information came out with her and the P. Diddy scandal, her and Portia de Rossi actually talked about getting a divorce. They're not divorced yet, but they are living apart from each other in England. 2 separate houses. Which goes to show you that there may be a little more information. That may be pretty darn close. And this is breaking news right on the Podguyz Podcast. You know, there might be a little truth to the mixture as far as the, if you have wet feet, there may be a leak.
I like how Portia de Rossi's life is kind of like Arrested Development now.
Yeah.
It's, it's just a little bit too close to the actual verbiage. But Joe, where's your next show at? Where are you going to be performing?
So this Friday, I'm going to be in Merchantville for the Camden Comedy Collective. I don't know the name of the venue. It's just going to be under the Camden Comedy Collective. So, okay. But it's in Merchantville this Friday, and I'm not. So funny story. Can I tell a funny story?
You can, absolutely.
So, my girlfriend lives in Florida. She came up a couple weeks ago, spend the summer with me. So I didn't book a lot of dates for the summer.
Wait, Joe. How crazy is she?
Oh, well, I'll tell this story leads into.
Okay, good.
I'll go through all my dating, but so she left. She flew back to Florida on Friday. She just something pissed her off, and she's gone. So now I'm single again, and I don't have that many show dates. So I'm scrambling to book more shows for July and August. So I'll get some stuff filled in, but I had it all open to spend time with her, go to the beach, go out to dinner, and now she's in Florida and she's probably already seeing somebody else, which is fine. It was only a 2-year investment. Hey, I'm 65. I still have plenty of good years left.
Yeah, like 3.
Now, how old was she? 28?
No, she was my age, 65.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I'm not being upset if you were dating some younger, some younger female to get your.
When I first started dating, because my wife passed away 12 years ago, I started dating, and I thought, it would be nice to go out with younger, girls. But then I thought to myself, after the wild sex, there's really nothing else in common, and it's like. Oh, my mother woke me up in 1969 to watch Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. Oh, yeah, I read that in a book somewhere. There's absolutely no connection.
There is a couple standards I hold unattractive in a woman. Their ability to read. All right, I don't need a person to tell me how they read about something and stuff like that. The wild sex is always a plus right there, but even then, tone it down a little bit. We don't want to wake up the neighbors, and I don't want to feel like I just got done at the drive.
You don't want to fuck up a hip.
Remember, I live in Tuckahoe. I have no neighbors.
Flip that board around there, Sparky. Let's see what's going on. Sparky has got hey Ellen, we need 100
No, we need you for questioning.
We need you for questioning. Okay. See how the glare works there, Sparky? We need you for questioning. Who are you talking to? By the power of Grayskull.
Is that Ellen with the knife?
No, I think that's He-Man with the knife.
Poor He-Man.
He-Man is going to extradite Ellen DeGeneres right there. The relationships in comedy don't really work out that much, Joe, because you don't want somebody affecting your mood before time and after time and all that nice crap. My wife, I took her to one comedy show, and I told her I should just sit down and try not to inhale all the pot smoke that's going to be done here. It's a basement show about 110 black people in a basement. We did a roast of Sabu. Then Tyke wasn't doing any roast jokes, so I had to roast that motherfucker on top of it. He loved it. I was just like, Tyke, I started out by saying, like, Tyke, why didn't you do any actual roast jokes? Oh, it's because you don't write any jokes. Okay, cool. All right. So I'll get to you, Tyke, in just a moment. Tyke, you look like the Temu version of Kevin Hart, the kind that's all fucking the same height, but still, just, it's not as funny, but the, a ridiculous amount. She won. She had a great time, and there was so much pot smoke, though. It was a lot of pot going on. I haven't smoked pot in a while. Joe, do you still smoke pot?
No, I don't. My lungs are bad. I don't. But I did a show at the Stone Dojo in Toms River, and they smoke in there. There's no ventilation. I didn't know what was happening. I got high. I made the mistake of getting in my car to drive home. I live about 30 minutes from the venue. 3 hours later, I have no fucking idea where I'm at. Pardon me. Can we swear on this show?
Absolutely. Yeah, swear as much as you like. Yeah.
And that was interesting. I mean, signs were melting into each other. I'm like, what was that smoke? Had to be more than just pot, but it really freaked me out.
Yeah, if they were smoking crack, I mean, that's fine too. let people smoke whatever they want. It's just that's always been my firm belief. Just smoke as much crack, as much meth, do as many drugs as you want. Just when you're just don't go to rehab after the whole goddamn thing. I don't want, if I'm the one saying make it legal and don't go to jail over it, don't get help for it either. Go fuck yourself on that one.
They do say rehab is for quitters.
It is, right. Yeah. Well, not rehab anymore. It's just pharmaceutical companies took over the idea. They're like, wait a second, we could make money on this, right? And there's no cure. Oh, that's our thing. I mean, that's like what we do. So they just literally took it over, Tony, and then followed up by some stuff that they borrowed from like the 12-step program and all that nice stuff. Joe, are you a drinker?
No. I don't drink either because it makes me fall asleep. I used to be, but as you get older, you don't even enjoy it. You don't even get buzzed or drunk. I fall right asleep.
Are you actively writing jokes as we speak or no?
Yeah, always.
Nice. What's your favorite premise of a joke that you've been working on as lately?
So I'm 65, so I have to do all the fun things. So I actually had to go in last year for my colonoscopy, and I'm sitting in the doctor's office, and I just came up with this whole thing. I said to myself, and I made up this joke while I was sitting in the doctor's office, and I said, turn 65, you have to start doing things like going to get your colonoscopy. And when I went for mine, they didn't put me all the way under. They just gave me that twilight anesthesia. And in the recovery room, the doctor said, listen, when you were having the procedure, you did a lot of talking. You made us laugh. I said, oh, really? What did I say that made you laugh? He said, well, the one thing that we all laughed at is you said, come on, fellas, one at a time. Because and I just sitting in the doctor's office, it just came to my head. Everything I talk about, there's some truth stuff that I've lived. I mean, I'm not a stand-up comedian. I never wanted to do this. I never went to courses. I loved comedy. I loved going to comedy club, watching comedians, listening, all the comedy channels on Sirius and whatnot. But this was never in my. It wasn't a dream, a bucket list item. So I literally woke up one morning and said, I'm sick of dating these crazy women. And I'll tell you about some more of the crazy women I dated. But I just started doing it, and I just said, well, I've got all these stories of all this crazy stuff that's happened in my life. Let me be able to take the stories and condense them. So I started with a whiteboard, and so I would do the whole thing in black, but you use a red marker for everything that had to stay in, and then I would read it, record it, read it back, and get it down to where it needed, to be. So now the whiteboard's in my head. I don't even have to write it down anymore. I just go through it in my head, and I break it up and chop it, down. And but the crazy women. I dated a woman for over 8 years, and one day I'm at her house. We're not involved in anything sexual. I'm sitting on her couch watching TV. She's doing something. She decides to stand up on the couch, pull her pants down, and start to piss on my head. And I say, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, I thought you would like it." We're together 8 years. What did I ever say or do that would make you think I would like to be pissed on?
How many times have you told her you're pissing me off? Stop it.
Never. I never told her. I was always like, I was always been like, that's the first time I think I used the word piss in 8 years with her. I mean, maybe once or twice I have to go take a piss, but other than that, no. And then after her, I dated a girl that ended up, she was a heroin addict. And she had me convinced for 2 weeks that the track marks were cat scratches. And then I went to her apartment and realized I don't see a cat.
Yeah, but did she still kind of smell like a cat?
No cat, nothing. No litter box. No,
she smelled like ammonia.
Cat.
Depression.
But and then I dated a girl.
Did you wonder why she kept like nodding off during your stories, or like was that just
that was like yeah, I started to get suspicious. Yeah, all those take her out to dinner and after dinner.
She's like, Joe, you're the most amazing man.
Joe, could you drop me off at the methadone clinic? I gotta pick up my cat.
But that was that, and then I dated a girl, worked at the post. I went out on one date with a girl, went to the post office. We set another date up, and then I get the Dear John text.
Wait,
listen,
what? Wait. Hold on. Slow down.
Whoa, reverse.
Slow down there. You guys went on a date at the post office?
No, she worked at the post office.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, what a fucking
postal worker.
Well, you're in bed. You're like a shitty at planning dates.
We had a nice lunch.
We're here at the post office. Is the line long enough for you two? Oh, just perfect. Just perfect.
It's okay. We're going to box it up ourselves.
This is going to be great small talk. This is basically a whole movie now because we'll be here for a fucking hour.
We're going to go second class mail instead of first.
Yeah. Here, you want to watch the YouTube on my phone while we chit chat about shit? I got to pick up a book of stamps before they go up a penny.
The second date with a Dear John text basically saying she was too busy. She had to rake leaves in her yard.
Man.
I said to her, I said, listen.
Yeah, be like, is that code
you don't want to see me anymore? But tell me you don't like me. I have bad breath. I'm not your type.
Just tell me that you're sucking some guy's dick right now. Don't convince me that you're raking leaves. How dare you?
I
have a backyard.
I think it was the other way around. She was munching some carpet.
Oh, lesbian time.
Yeah.
It'd be great if he got the text like, you're going away like the forever stamp.
Yeah. Those spinsters, man,
I was shipped off and no longer to be seen with her.
My God.
But yeah, so my dating life has been crazy, my whole life. But lately it's just been one thing after another. And the woman that we broke up, she was half Italian and half Polish. So I have a joke that I say on stage. Yeah, my girlfriend's half Italian, half Polish. Means she knows how to cook. She just doesn't know what to cook. And that's
that's cute. Yeah, it's cute.
She knows how to hold a potato like this.
No, it's when she fills the ravioli with chocolate sauce. That's disgusting.
Gross.
But yeah,
my girlfriend's half Polish, half retarded. When I ask her for a blowjob, she bites my nose. So I punch her in the face and throw her to the ground. There's really no punchline. That's what I did last night. I think about breaking up with her.
but that's what my stuff is. It's just, but I think, I'm constantly in the car.
What do you think about that, Joe? They're trying to sexualize women that have Down syndrome now. What do you feel? How do you feel about that? You're an old fashioned kind of guy. You've seen a lot in life. You're over the age of 60. You're under the age of 70. Do you feel like that's a smart thing for women that have Down syndrome to be sexualized on models and stuff? Shouldn't they first see if there is a market out there for them in that department? Like see if you can make some sex dolls that have Down syndrome out there first and see how they sell, and only then should you start really pumping up the whole sexualization of women that have Down syndrome. How do you feel about it? I don't know.
I don't think it's right, because I don't think that they could understand what it is they're doing, and they're being exploited.
Yeah, I agree. But if two people that have Down syndrome have a baby, is that baby potentially going to be even worse? Is there a Downer syndrome? Can we be missing Can there be more chromosomes to be missing? I don't know, but that's like the DS. That's like
fucked up.
That's what goes through my head, where I'm like, where the doctors are like, it's a boy, but holy fuck, guys, I don't know. This one ain't. Oof.
It's a Quato! Yay!
Just crawling around there.
Quatos!
Yeah, she just has
for everyone.
It eventually evolves into, reads the fucking future, lives on Mars. It's a total recall. Just saying, Tony.
Not to mention places, right? But they're the place where I work at. We usually have this one person that comes down. Now she does have Down syndrome, and she's a little, she's a little slow, so she talks to herself. And I was over in the food court, and I see her over there with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend also has Down syndrome as well.
Yeah. So
it's Down syndrome on top of Down syndrome. And I think they're living together. They have a great life, whatever happens.
I mean, they have an okay life. Yeah.
So she blurts out something. I thought she was yelling at me because it was like right behind, and I was sitting down at a bigger table, and I think she said, "Hey, numbnuts," but I think she was just saying it to say it.
Yeah. Well,
and not be like me in general.
I mean, Tony, it's just that I'm all for encouraging certain things. Okay, try your best, no matter who you are. Oof. But then there's that next level where everybody just the moms and the dads, they get together. They're like, and I know what happened. It had to have been throughout time where their Down syndrome child comes up and then says something about how, oh, Mom, Dad, didn't you say I was beautiful? And they said, of course you're beautiful. And they said, don't you think I could be in Playboy one day? And they're like, sure.
That trash whore magazine.
I mean, maybe. Don't you think I could do porn? Wow, fuck. No.
Where have we gone wrong?
I mean, fuck. Maybe. I mean, those are a different type of beautiful. You're lying. Then they run to their room, but then you're like, hey, that's not your room. That's ours and your mother's room. Your room's the other one down the hall. You know what? Never mind.
They Quato to the room.
Just stay in there, you fucking. God. I'm going to do some heroin. I mean, pet the cat. Sort of thing.
Okay. So that's change the terminology for you. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. It's not called shooting heroin anymore. It's called petting the cat.
Listen.
We're all gonna start petting the cat.
Every single one of us.
Sir, why do you do heroin? Well, my Down syndrome daughter keeps getting denied by Hustler magazine. Didn't Hustler magazine go out of business? Yes. I'm the one writing the letters back, denying her. And then she cries for a week, and it's a whale cry. And then the cats outside fuck to it. So I said to myself, oh my God, you know what? I'll tell my wife these track marks are because I tried petting the stray cats outside. See, we're in a neighborhood that doesn't have a Chinese restaurant, so they can't just take the cats. And then we don't got to fucking, so the Down syndrome daughter is crying upstairs. The cats are fucking out there. And the only way to get rid of the noise is to come real close to overdosing on heroin in the basement. My wife is very understanding. If that scenario
very
does
conservative.
exist, yeah, there's definitely a scenario out there, but Joe, that's just an old-fashioned thing. I don't think they should be sexualizing women that have Down syndrome as much as I feel that they should not be sexualizing men with Down syndrome. But we do have that one show on Netflix that is very popular, and it's called Love on the Spectrum. Have you seen Love on the Spectrum?
I have not.
So it is two people that have what I call vaccine injuries, but other people are calling autistic on the spectrum of autism. Now, if I were to hit somebody over the head with a rock or just injure somebody with a vaccine, and then you tell me what the difference between their brain activity is, the person that got whacked on the head with the rock will eventually heal, and meanwhile, the other one will be permanently damaged because of aluminum and mercurized poisoning and all that nice stuff. But anyways, the show is, hey, let's hook two people up. And the awkwardness in the date is going to make a whole TV show. It is exploitation at its finest. But they put it up there like it's a datey kind of show, right? Where the one girl, she was just kind of weird. She's like, I like to make my own bracelets. She had probably like the mind of an 11-year-old that's also uninteresting, like where, if you have an 11-year-old daughter and she's like, hey, look, I made bracelets. And you're like, oh my God, isn't that amazing for the first week? But after she does it for 5 years in a row, you're like, oh, wow. That's another one. Cool.
It's a business now, Kevin. It's a business.
Not this one. She ain't got a business. Anyways, they end up hooking her up with one guy who was just, really nonverbal. There is a lot wrong there. Like she's over and she does not pay attention to much of what he's doing. She just says something like, oh, hey, I like fries too. And he's like grunting, just like, because he ain't got a fucking word he's learned, like that kind of lopsidedness. So then the directors came in on camera still. They're still rolling on camera. And they're like, do you feel like the date's not going so well? Dude, what the fuck do you think? You got eyes. You ain't got autism. Seriously, what do you fucking think? What are you talking? And then she's like, yeah, I think he's a little tough to communicate with. And he's like wrapped around like this, like all fucked up, really fucked up. And I'm thinking to myself, who even had a tester on this guy? That ain't autism. That's something even worse. I don't know what the guy's got going on, but that ain't even close to like, oh, let's just throw him on in there and see if he could sit at a fucking fast food or diner option for a little bit of time on camera without, freaking the fuck out or whatever. So they ended up finding her to this new guy and he immediately dumped her. It was great, right? Now, it wasn't really done in a harsh way. He was, so she sits down, she introduces herself. He's like, I said no brunettes. I said no brunettes. I want blondes. And then stood up and fucking left. And I'm like, man, if you didn't have
that's a guy that knows what he wants.
Yeah, like now a normal, chauvinistic guy would hide that situation in his head for a while where he's like, yeah, we had a great time, but just not my type, and walks away, tells his friends like, yeah, I don't like brunettes. Fuck that, right? But this guy, holy shit, he's got a whole thing where he's just like going on. I told the directors I would only do the date if she was blonde and blah, blah, blah. And they lied to me. They lied right to my face. And his mother, who looks like she's just about had, there's no father in the room. I'm guessing he fucking killed himself years ago, right? So she's going on like combing his hair, like, maybe you should give her a chance. He's like, no, ma, she's not the right one. I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't autism at this point. This is encouraging the fucking biggest. This is encouraging the, how people used to get picked on a little bit in school and some of them shook themselves out of it and the other ones just like stayed there. But at least there was a chance they could shake themselves out of it. These ones were encouraged to stay just like that for as long as possible. So she's combing his hair and shit like that, going on about, oh, give her a chance. And then she's over there, the other one, they're going on the other one, and she's over there like, no, I was going to make him a bracelet with his name on it. What the fuck are we even doing here? Like, are you serious? Then I can't stop watching it because it makes me feel outstanding about any situation I've ever been into. Joe,
and therein lies the problem, Kevin.
Joe, you should watch. It makes everybody feel that way. The people that are involved in the show too, right? The people that are involved in the show too, they're giving this small talk as if they kind of give a fuck, but it's really condescending to a degree. Where they're like, "Hey, Alex,
inclusivity, Kevin, inclusivity."
Like, hey, Alex, how did the date go? And he's like, oh no, just like freaking out and shit, wandering around the kitchen. They're like, ask him if he's gonna kiss her this time. Go ahead, ask him. He'll freak the fuck out. Go ahead, ask him. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You're openly making fun of the guy. Like throughout the whole entire thing. I can only watch about 6 episodes of the thing. But Joe, if you think that you've ever had a bad date experience, these people are stuck that way. Okay. They are permanently stuck that way. And then somebody said one day, and I'm guessing it must have been an executive from the, remember the old show with, It was called the Love Connection or whatever.
Yeah.
With I think the old host of Wheel of Fortune, Chuck Woolery, he was hosting it at the time, and it was always like, hey, they'd ask the guy like, "How'd the date go?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I tried serenading. He looks like some fucking 5'6" Jeff Gordon mustache wearing motherfucker with a little bit of a flipper in the back or whatever." And he's just like, "I tried serenading her with song, but she seemed a little shy at the time." So then they're like, "Well, how did it go? He said that he tried playing the guitar for you." And she's like, "He doesn't know how to play the guitar. And I told him he should stop." It's getting very awkward. So then they're like, all right. And they're both in the same fucking right next to each other. So then Chuck Woolery be like, do you think do you think it was a love connection? He's like, "Oh, absolutely. I think so." And then they'll ask her, and no, absolutely not. And he's just like sitting there, the whole experience. So it's kind of like Love Connection, only they ramp the volume up big time on the awkwardness between just two people that have been permanently asphyxiated in their own minds of injury. And in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but then again, no doctor has ever cured a fucking thing. So why even have health insurance? Just let me die already, sort of thing. But Tony, God, we do have a celebrity that did just break up. Am I right on that one? Oh, Sparky's got something on the big board. We'll get to that. Then we'll get to the latest in celebrity breakups. Sparky, flip that big board around there, my man. What's going on here? Women weaken legs rock. I am only going to the zoo. Yes, I forgot the first episode.
Because retards love the zoo.
I forgot the first episode of Love on the Spectrum. The first episode of Love on the Spectrum was Rocky Balboa and Adrian, of course. Who can forget that, where he took her to the zoo instead of anything else. So Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater break up after 3 years.
No.
Yep, when accused child molester Dan Schneider was asked about it, he says, she's probably too old for him now. It's amicable. They gave lots of time and careful consideration, decided to go their separate ways. They are still friends and very supportive of one another. They have been quietly broken up for several months. The decision was made after careful consideration, with sources also claiming Grande's upcoming music was not inspired by the split or centered around her relationship with Slater. Bullshit. The source added that Ariana Grande, 32, is doing great and has been focusing on her Eternal Sunshine tour, which began on June 6th, as well as upcoming releases on her album Pedal for July 31st.
It's okay, Kevin. You know who was interviewed for her breakup?
Who's that?
Cynthia Erivo.
Who? Oh.
She said it's okay. I'll console her.
We got the crowd reaction here, Tony.
Oh yeah. There it is. Perfect.
She's
Perfect.
Right there. She's angry. Corey Payne says, just remember, when dealing with homewreckers and cheaters, you lose them the same way you gain them. Rest in peace, Ethan. Nice knowing you, says Kevin De La Fuente. Victoria Abogum says, I guess she found herself a new target who's already in a relationship or married. I'm guessing Ariana Grande really likes watching somebody in a relationship first and then picks on those guys and takes them right away. Oh no, I'm just so devastated. Yawn face, sleepy face by Carrie Lee Grande. Joe, are you familiar with Ariana Grande as an actress, as a musician, as a familiar name you might have heard?
She did Wicked, right?
Yeah, she did do the Wicked. Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, because
Joe, that's the thing that you remember her for.
That is a good.
Yeah, because
that's good.
My girlfriend and I put the movie on and watched it for like 15 minutes. And said, "What the fuck did we just waste our money on?" Yeah. That's why I remember it.
That's about 15 minutes too long. You're absolutely right, though. They, and The Wizard of Oz was such an uncomplicated storyline, right? You had a little girl, dog, doesn't want the dog taken away, a lot of different character elements, a lot of nice songs, and then the Land of Oz is portrayed and all that nice stuff. She has to follow the yellow brick road. meets 3 people along the way, and there's songs and dances throughout the whole situation. She overcomes her fears and all that crap, all the good stuff that a movie or a book kind of needs for a hero story. Even though the theories are out there, plenty of theories where the bad witch was actually the witch at the beginning and the pink bubble. You're familiar with this theory, Joe, or no?
Oh yeah.
Where Gwendolyn, the supposed good witch, could have told her at the beginning, like, here, I'll put the shoes on your feet, tap them, and you'll go right home. Cool. And then she's out. But instead she's like, hey, I got the shoes on your feet. By the way, you're going to need to kill my sister.
Sure.
And it's such an easy kill, because all you gotta do is splash it with some water, where it's like, dude, why don't you just fucking do it? What's wrong? You just traveled.
Can't make it rain in the Wizard of Oz. You can't send out one wish.
Yeah, can't you spit on her?
Maybe if she had a bucket of water, she'd get back in the bubble and wouldn't be able to throw it out.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it just felt it's a kids movie, of course. So there was a cartoon after the fact. Of course, the Wizard of Oz has been the same script passed around for over 100 years, and here the musical, much more of a musical than it actually was a movie. Wicked. It just really I watched a good 25 minutes of it. My wife wanted to watch it too, so we were kind of checking it out. And then
it's a quintessential chick movie.
Did you guys see the play or just the movie?
I've seen the play myself.
Just the movie.
I thought the play was good. The play
was awesome.
An interesting twist on the Wizard of Oz. But I don't think the movie was anything like that. Like I said, 10, 15 minutes in, me and Tina were like, what the fuck is this?
It's a snore fest.
Let's take the loss and watch something else.
Well, Joe, are you a football fan at all?
Yeah.
Who's your football team? Who's your favorite football team?
Eagles. I'm South Jersey. Eagles.
All right. Yeah, I thought they were going to repeat last year. Honestly, they kept their same core of guys. Drama does inward locker room drama does happen. AJ Brown is now a New England Patriot. You guys got some good draft picks for him. But did you hear the news that the Bears are officially moving to Indiana?
Yep. Yeah.
How backwards. Now, this is how stupid the goddamn whole state of Illinois is, okay? If you're wondering, as the taxpayer, I gotta pay for a whole stadium, you dumb motherfuckers. This is what happens. I'll break it down for you real quick. That stadium is brand new. It attracts tourists and all sorts of crap. It provides local jobs too. In fact, the most important local jobs that it provides is for these overpaid millionaire NFL players. Hundreds and hundreds. These are billion-dollar franchises, okay? They are evaluated at $1 billion. That investment in your city comes walking right the fuck back to you, and it basically is a hands-washed scenario. It is the easiest thing to do. It is just as easy as pressing a button saying, hey, how can we help you as the city of Chicago? So they're moving since Chicago is so incompetent in that specific way that they can't even realize they can build the stadium or help the team build the stadium alongside with them, work together on Soldier Field is probably the oldest stadium of all time in the NFL right now. So Chicago has not had to invest a fucking dime, okay? They haven't had to invest a dime forever in this situation. Instead, what they're spending their money on are DEI programs for the Bloods and the Crips. Fucking great idea, Chicago. Amazing. Let's have more children go in there as undercover agents for the DEA and pretend to be gangbangers on a little bit of a salary to pay half of their college, you stupid fucking shut of a city, instead of just giving people the football team that they wanted. Sparky drew it right there on the big board that they're moving from Chicago to Indiana. It is less taxes for the players to pay. The town of Indiana that they're going to move to is Hammond, Indiana, that is agreeing to change their city name to Chicago. So you see, it doesn't. So it doesn't even matter. They're not going to be called the Hammond Bears, you fucking dumb mother. Oh, what are they going to call them? They can't call them Chicago. Actually, they can. There's no rule against it. And if you don't like it, Go fuck yourself. You guys had a perfectly good, you guys have baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Okay. You guys got 4 amazing franchises in Chicago. And what do? You fuck it up. You somehow found a way to fuck it up, and they did it. They are now moving to Indiana. Sparky's holding up the number 5 for some odd reason. They got 5. 5, Sparky, am I missing one? Which
5
one?
teams, well, the 2 baseball teams.
So you got Chicago White Sox,
Cubs.
Cubs. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. White Sox, which, I mean, out of 162 games, they might win 30. They're just an awful, awful team. So I'm sorry. I forgot they played baseball just the same way that they forget they played baseball while actively playing a game. They're like, oh, shit. Sure. I got to go back and, all right, I guess that's, I've got to go back to the bullpen. I struck out again. I forgot where I was, So, Tony, your take on it. Caleb Williams is going to be in the very conservative state of Indiana. Not a lot of nightclubs there. The type that he would probably like to go to. Paint his fingernails.
You're probably right.
You're probably
right. Unfortunately, Illinois, Indiana, very white bread, very corn-fed town.
Yeah, so it's a pay increase for all the players, so they're going to love it. Chicago somehow doesn't understand that although they're putting up the money, it's going to come right back to them. Joe, your take on this? I mean, do you have, as an NFL fan?
It's short-sighted. I mean, people, so many of these, I don't know if Brandon Johnson is considered socialist, but, they don't feel that they should pony up the money for these billionaire team owners, but they're not. They're, like you said, they're putting it up for the city. All the jobs, all the employment, all the ancillary business. How many bars and restaurants before and after the game make $1 million on game day? And so it's very short-sighted. But it is what it is, and it's done. And
they could probably, now on the responsibility of the owners. These owners have a lot of money, and when people have a lot of money, they don't like to spend it on brand new stuff. They like to have other people spend it for them, and then they just have that ownership tag of saying, "Hey, we got to pay all these players. You guys are taxing them. We're going to pay the players. Get us a brand new stadium. We'll do maybe you pay 70%. We'll pay 30%. We're going to stay in your city." Because if they don't, they're like, "Oh yeah, cool. Look at the whole map of America. Look at Indiana, so that they'll do it." Yeah, they could literally, they could be the Montana fuck yous if they wanted to. Yeah. It doesn't,
like I said, I always follow Philadelphia sports, and the last 15 years, 20 years, they put up a new football field, Lincoln Financial. They put up a new baseball park, Citizens Bank Park, and they put up, I don't know what it's called now. It used to be the Wells Fargo Center for hockey and basketball.
It did, yeah.
So the city put up all
plus
that.
Numerous practice squads too.
Actually, you're right. You're 1,000% right, Tony. They got different practice arenas as well. But Philadelphia is it's between Philadelphia and Boston, right? These two cities are really, they could talk about the Eagles for 12 months in a row. They could talk about the Phillies for 12 months in a row. They could talk about the 76ers for 12 months in a row. Do you know when Ben Simmons was holding out and saying "Oh, I don't know if I want to play for the Sixers," everyone's like, "Then fucking leave. Get the fuck out of here. Go. Get now." Get.
True.
Everybody had the same attitude towards him, and he's like, "But I still like money. Maybe I'll come back." They're like, "Jesus Christ, just get the fuck out of here already."
Well, that's pretty much what happened to Nick Castellanos, right? Yeah. I mean, he a couple Phillies fans insulted his wife, so he got butthurt, and they traded him to San Diego, and now he got cut.
Yeah. Philly's a big spot. Philly, you got beat writers still out there for the Inquirer.
Yeah.
Ready to roll. The Eagles are such a crazy franchise. Nick Sirianni, in his first year being their head coach, right, gets them to a Super Bowl, but doesn't win. And then 2 games into preseason, they're like, "Is he on the hot seat?" What the fuck are you talking about? He literally got you in a Super Bowl last year. They're like, yeah, but is he the right guy? He was yelling at one of the fans. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Like the Sixers, they run talent out of Philadelphia. They run franchises out of Philadelphia. The Golden State Warriors were in Philly, and they ran them the fuck out of there. They ran Andy Reid out of Philadelphia. They ran Allen Iverson out of Philadelphia after they put their arms around him. Fucking, for some odd reason, I never understood how people thought that Larry Brown's a good coach. Dude, you got Allen Iverson and no one else doing shit. And they're like, well, without Larry Brown, that man would be lost. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, he ain't doing shit. He's yelling at him, blah, 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 blah. And Allen Iverson's putting on fucking 50 points, 35 points, literally doing he's bouncing balls off of people's heads to bank shot it in there like he's on a fucking McDonald's game of horse right there. And everyone's just giving the credit to, if Larry Brown didn't have glasses on, he wouldn't look so fucking smart. I'm telling you that right now, right?
Well,
Andy Reid got run out of town. They're like, go to the Chiefs and look like the Kool-Aid guy, and he wins Super Bowls there, no problem, right? They go to NFC Championship game after NFC Championship game, right? The Eagles with Andy Reid. His son commits suicide in the locker room by overdose. Okay, Andy Reid's son, and the Enquirer's there, and all they do is on the day, right? After somebody asked him questions about if he's going to retire because of the suicide, they said, the Enquirer comes up and they said, Andy, really sorry to hear about your son. Is Donovan McNabb going to start running more this season now? What the fuck, dude? The guy's kid, 20 fucking, they got a cold body in the bag right there, dragging him across the goddamn aisle. It just happened. And they're only worried about what the fuck is this going to affect your coaching for this season? Because if it is, the door's right the fuck there.
Philly.
That's Philly right there. They have absolutely no regard for anybody's, like situation. If 9/11 happened in Philadelphia, they'd be like, yo, man, our town looks like shit. They wouldn't be helping.
They're the only superficial fans that have, after years and years of torment and torture, that have won a Super Bowl, ask the coach, why can't you follow it up with another Super Bowl?
If 9/11 happened in Philly, Philly would make the best soccer team just to fight fucking in the Middle East that way. And they'd talk shit. They'd throw piss jugs at the other fans, and they'd be like, yeah, you might have knocked down two of our buildings down here in Philly, but we didn't like those buildings anyway, so fuck you. Like, dude, what the fuck? People talk about the New York, resolve. There's a lot of resolve in Philly. Philly has this is how stupid of construction they're doing in the bridges in Philly, right? They're doing construction on one bridge at a time. Whatever. I get it. But they're not doing them in the way that they need to do them. And I'll give you a perfect example. While doing construction on one bridge down Philadelphia, on the other side of town, about maybe 200-300 yards away, another bridge collapses, right? And that was the bridge that needed immediate attention. They said, media comes up and they say, well, why didn't you get to that bridge first before the one that you're already at? And I swear to God, this was the response. They said, well, we're actually doing them in alphabetical order of while we were given the bridges of when to do them. Holy fuck. Are you serious? Yeah. And the reporter said, oh, well, and that's why they're doing it that way. And they've always done it that way. And fucking la. What the fuck? No, grill him for a second. Like, what the fuck do you mean alphabetical order, you dumb shit? Somebody could have died over there because you don't want to go by numbers. Instead, you want to go by letters of the alphabet, you stupid fuck. That's how messy Philly is right now. But, always has been.
What would you expect from the only city in America that dropped a bomb on its own city?
They have dropped a bomb on their own city.
They're the only
ones. They're the, Philadelphia, whenever the Eagles are in the playoffs, they raise the taxes on gas so that way people won't burn the fucking town down. And if they do, they can at least make some money on it. because holy
Can't afford
shit, that's just the thing to do. People have been kicked out of Philadelphia so much that everybody from Philly that has been kicked out of there has either migrated to Allentown, Pennsylvania, or all of South Jersey. And that's where they're at right now, if they've been kicked out of Philly.
And I'll tell you one of the famous ones. Do you remember Joey Merlino?
Joe. Yeah.
So now he's out of jail and he's opened up cheesesteak places. He just opened one on the Wildwood Boardwalk.
Of course he did, because why not? Why, like every tourist down there, like, yo, you like Pat's or Gino's? They're both awful. Both of those places are just awful. If you want it, oh my God. If you want a good cheesesteak, make one at home for yourself. These people are burnt the fuck out restaurant workers. They are. You go to Tony Luke's, maybe. At least he has health inspectors come by every now and then for his franchise. Unlike Pat and Gino's, where they're just like, yo, you like a widow it out. The fuck kind of service is this? What kind of morons are going to your place where that's how you have to ask any particular person a question? You like a widow it out? Huh? Shut the fuck up. I'll make my own food at home, you smelly bastard. You look like you haven't shaved in a week. And
well, it's good to know that Mike the Situation Sorrentino is he's running for Jersey governor, right?
Jersey governor.
Can we do any worse than what we have right now?
No.
No.
I mean, come on. Look, I voted for Jack, and I don't take Republican, Democrat. I vote who's going to do best for the people of New Jersey. And Jack Ciattarelli had a 5-point concise plan on how to lower taxes, property taxes, lower utility bills, bring back plastic bags. And he really had Mickey shut out nothing. She wouldn't answer questions. And I think it was really more people just were voting against Trump than for the candidate. And I think that's evident in Virginia, because how in the world do you elect an attorney general that threatens somebody's children? They didn't vote for the guy. They didn't care who it was. He was the guy that was on the other side of Trump. And that's what, I think really, really hurt New Jersey, is that Ciattarelli, he was a little too close to Trump, and people just said, screw it. We don't want that in New Jersey. But now we're paying for it. I mean, this lady just took $20 million from senior citizens, me being one of them, and is giving it to fund legal assistance for the illegal aliens. Now, whatever side you're on with the
hold on. Now that's an even more messy situation, because the people who are undocumented, illegal aliens, whatever word you want to use for it, people that are that already get to have a free defense. There's already federal money there and state money there for that idea. So if she's taking and saying like, oh, that's what I'm going to do with it, bitch, that money's already there. What are you really doing with that money? Me and my wife, we had to go through the immigration process, all that nice stuff. She's originally from the Philippines. Yep. Beautiful, smart, all the check marks there. Just outstanding, right? Every time I hear politicians talk about what they're doing and how they're going to do it, it's either something that's already been done 10 years ago, right? Or something that has nothing to do with immigration at all. So when she says, what did she exactly say, Joe? Did she say, oh, I'm going to take?
So basically she took $20 million from, there's a program for senior homeowners that you could freeze your property taxes and get like an anchor rebate, just, for staying in the state, because it's so expensive to live here. A rebate if you don't earn a certain amount of money. And she took $20 million from that program, and the money is going to the detainees in Delaney Hall. And they're going for legal representation.
Okay, wow. No. So this is what $20 million is not going to go straight to the detainees. $20 million is going to go to administration, the administrative workers of that prison. Okay, and that's funneled, and they might see like maybe a nickel out of the idea, right? And that's gonna give them fucking toothpaste for the day or something like that. But what she's doing is she's either going to expand the prison or she gave the money to somebody else and they're going to decide, hey, we got a lot more work to do here, so maybe we get raises now. And they're all going to give themselves some fuck you raises. I guarantee it. And it's a scummy thing to do because, in my opinion, you do need. So the only reason you really need a property tax is because if you don't have a property tax, you got scumbag billionaires that come in, buy up everything because they know that they'll never have to manage their properties anymore. And the reason that they won't have to really manage it is because they're not going to pay any taxes on it. They could say, hey, tenant pays for utilities and fuck you if you get it shut off and all that nice crap, right? So there's a property tax because there's a class of people that have a lot of money, and they're not always in America. Sometimes they're overseas, where California's having a lot of problems with Chinese people coming over, or Chinese companies buying up American properties because they can't buy property or own property in China. So they don't care much about the property taxes over there.
Doing it through an LLC or doing it through like a mini corporation.
So they'll jack up the rent one way, we have here in Pennsylvania. We either have people coming over from Jersey looking at a house for $100,000, trying to, jack up the rents. And, they're Jewish landlords is what we like, is the slang of it. They're Jewish landlords coming over. And if it's not, I saw some Hasidic Jews stomping on top of a dumpster down in Kingston, Tony. And I told Janice, I said, how much you want to bet they blame that on Palestine? And she's like, why would they do that? I'm like, because why not?
Because they can.
Because they can, yeah. And so,
but I mean, the one thing that Jersey's always had ever since the taxes started to get crazy is they had like property relief for seniors. It's not doing away with the taxes. It's just you freeze it at a certain level. And then if you don't earn a certain income, they give you a certain, it's like $1,000 rebate.
I think that if you own your property, like if you do the 30-year mortgage and you paid all 30 years, then, you should be done with your taxes on it. There should be a time limit of when it's done with, like that would be after 30 years of paying taxes. That's enough money for the state to kind of figure out. But the problem with that good idea, the fun, wholesome idea, is that somebody takes a wholesome idea and they're like, oh, what we'll do is we'll put your properties into a trust and we'll have we'll say that you paid 30 years on all these and they'll all be tax-free forever, to a scenario, and that baton will be handed down to generation after generation. It's just there's a state that wants to have a lot of money. They want to spend a lot of money because these people, these politicians, they're given tons and tons of money by special scumbags. I call them, some people call them special interests. They're special scumbags, right? They're buying their way to do whatever they want off of the goddamn thing, right? So they feel like they owe them X amount of dollars. So they say, okay, guys, now that we're in office, what should we spend money on? And they give them a list of demands and they're like, well, this all seems pretty unreasonable. Let's do it anyways. And they fucking go ahead and spend all the taxpayers' money as if it's not been given to them by regular hardworking people. They just spend it because and then by the time you know it, Jersey's kind of split in some areas. By the time you know it, people just get very tribalistic where they're just like, don't vote for him because he once shook the hand of Donald Trump, looked him in the eye and said he's a good man. Would a good person call Donald Trump a good man? And then the other side will spit out the same bullshit and say, like, your candidate over there wants to have your child get a sex change surgery in a bathroom that everybody and watch them piss in. Like, what the fuck? What kind of bullshit are you trying to do that? And the answer on both sides is a resounding, well, you're going to have to vote for us and figure it out. Because if you don't, well, then you just wasted your time being here in Jersey now, didn't you?
And listen, I'd love to get out. I would love to get out and go somewhere else. But, I'm here my whole life. And I don't want to be chased out by bad political decisions. Some days you wake up and you say, man, it's like, God, is it worth it? Is it worth the fight?
Well, this just in, Joe. Nick Reiner, famous for murdering his father, Rob Reiner, I don't know what else he's famous for besides that.
That's it.
Nick Reiner says, give me back my inheritance. And a new lawyer, Nick Reiner, wants the money he says he was owed from the trust his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, set up for him. You know, the people he murdered, as he awaits trial for their murders. According to court docs obtained by TMZ, the 32-year-old filed a petition Monday requesting the distribution of money he says was supposed to be paid out from the trust when he turned 30 years old.
I mean, how else is he supposed to afford a lawyer without the trust money?
Yeah, from his murdered parents.
From his murdered parents.
I mean, it's not his. Listen, Joe, it's not his fault that he murdered his parents. It's their fault that they wanted to call him a loser fucking shithead on Christmas Day. What a jerky family. I'm sorry, on the first day of Hanukkah, you know. Yeah, on the first day of Hanukkah. The other thing he was famous
for, Nick, was the tantrum right before he killed him, right? Didn't he throw a tantrum at a party?
Yeah, you're right. That was probably the worst part of the murder, the tantrum that annoyed the neighbors. They're like, man, that, you know, at least he didn't use a gun, you know, because his father was anti-gun. So at least, you know, at least he stabbed his father to death instead of shooting him, because that would have been insulting. You know, that would have been terrible. Rob Reiner, of course,
painful with the knife.
Rob Reiner, of course, very, very famously outspoken, wanting Donald Trump to be murdered. And who would have known that Donald Trump would have had his life attempted to be murdered, but never actually murdered. And Rob Reiner would actually be murdered, but never actually attempted to be murdered. The murder would come to full completion by the hands and knife of his own son. According to the petition, Nick told the trustee, time is of the essence. He explained that he needed Jackson to avoid further jeopardizing my defense in the criminal manner. He went on to say his efforts to get the money have been met only with delay and inaction. Oh, man. You know, that's the worst part about murdering your parents, is when the money is set up in a trust for you, you just can't get at it because you're in jail for murdering them. How inconvenient, Joe, right?
Time is of the essence because he's going to get the electric chair soon, isn't he?
Joe, it's such a blue collar crime. You know, you remember the day that you murdered your parents, right? And you couldn't get after that trust money.
Don't we all do it?
I mean, my God, I wouldn't have this picture in the background for a fortune of $200 if not for murdering my parents and shit. Diane Teresa says, yeah, I'd say so. Doesn't deserve the money. Note to self, include a line in will to address in case I'm murdered by one of my kids, they don't receive my money. Not like I have any money, but just in case, says Laura Felder Amos. One reply to that says, Laura Felder Amos, if you get murdered by one of your kids, you're bound to have had to have done something wrong to them. Usually kids love their parents and wouldn't do something like that unless they are really evil. Put up by, now that was replied to by Officially Funny Pics. Laura Felder, I just cackled, says John Gibson. Listen, I guess maybe somehow in a stretch of imagination, Nick is the real victim here. Okay, because you know, jail's a tough place to be, especially when you are totally guilty of the crime that you committed and you're running out of trust money, so they won't continuously beat the shit out of you and rape you for your money. You know, just throwing it out there. There's got to be some tough times for Nick Reiner.
Yeah, and you said that, you know, this is rare that it happens, but I remember those Ramirez brothers.
Yeah,
we got to bring out one more last story to end our show.
Absolutely, Tony.
Because unfortunately, that's what we all have time for is one more story.
We are ranting and raving.
We're gonna end like we did in the beginning. Masters of the Universe is now tracking to be the biggest bomb of the summer.
Oh, who predicted that, Tony? I wonder if there was a podcast live every Monday night that predicted something like that. I mean, holy shit. We gave the whole breakdown on why it would be a bad movie, and I guarantee if you did a replay of the whole episode that we had on He-Man, I guarantee in that fucking movie review right there, they're going to steal everything that we just said. Go for it, Tom. These fucking cunts cutting around, making
damn you, Amazon movies. MGM.
Just
damn
fucking it up.
They're going to lose over $100 million. It's opened at $54 million globally on a $170 to $200 million budget.
Oh my God, that's the whole world. That's the whole world.
It's good that they gave Jared Leto back his cult.
I'm very happy for him over that. Thank God.
Yeah, good for him.
He needed it.
Yeah.
Masters. What about the universe? How much money did the movie make in the whole universe, Tony?
They made domestically 29 million and opened at 54 million.
Yo, that is awful. That is just Netflix is fucking laughing their asses off right now.
Yeah,
Happy Gilmore too. No, never mind. That was probably a worse movie than this.
Yeah.
That's
I was gonna say they gave Adam Sandler quite a bit of dough. I think it was like 100 million for like 6 movies or something.
I think Adam Sandler gave them the script and he's like, "Here you go. Now tell me if it's bad." They're like, "No, we're just gonna greenlight it.
We're just gonna go.
There we go." And he's like, "All right.
Wrap it up."
You a big He-Man fan there, Joe, or no?
A big what?
He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
No. I'm too old for that. I mean, all that stuff came out after I was into that phase of my life.
I believe you.
I've been told it's quite the weird Thor Ragnarok-ish Marvel type of He-Man movie that has quirky puns and nostalgia written all over it, but unfortunately fails to deliver a solid plot unless you're making quirky puns throughout the movie.
I'll watch it when it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And see if I can relate to any of the quirky puns.
So I don't think they're going to get a sequel.
No.
No Masters of the Universe 2. Sorry. Joe, if people are going to check you out, where would they go and see you, sir?
Any social media, it's all Joe Scrocca Comedy. JoeScrocca Comedy. So it's everything: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
Well, you have a live show coming. What's the live show?
Let's do I've got one this Friday in Merchantville, New Jersey, for the Camden Comedy Collective, and then next week. You know what? Like I said, the rest of this month is pretty much open because of keeping it open for my girlfriend, which is she's no longer my girlfriend. So now
you're open and ready.
I'm open and ready in more ways than one. And
you're like a wildwood virgin.
Exactly, a myth.
A myth.
Yeah.
Sparky, if you were looking for us, where would you find us, Sparkles?
You can find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, GeoReo, Facebook Live Video, Amazon, and anywhere else you have a major streaming app.
Jazz hands to that one there, Sparky. Hell of a drawing tonight right there. Hell of a drawing when it comes to the He-Man stuff all around. Are you working on another drawing as we speak right now?
Yes, I am.
Let me check it out.
Like to end this show with a bang.
It says, we need a new actor to play He-Man. Hey, Nick Cage here.
He'll do anything for $1.
Yes, he will. Yes.
And he has.
By the way, I did watch the series of Spider-Man Noir, whom in 2 weeks we do have an actor from Spider Noir on our show.
We got him.
I'm not going to tell you who.
Yep.
Just know that he's. I'm excited to have him.
Yeah, it's going to be a very seasoned actor all around. I'm a big fan myself. But it's going to be a great show. As was this a very great show. Let's give it up for Joe Scrocca.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. It's been fun. I'm way past my bedtime and I made it.
Yes, you did.
It is way past the bedtime. You have one eye closed, one eye open. It's nice.
Yeah, well, that's the stroke.
There you go.
It's good that you can get a stroke instead of stroking.
Yeah.
Well, without the girlfriend, I'm going to be doing that too. So not tonight. Though. I'm going straight to bed.
Yeah.
But,
all right, guys. Thank you very much for watching us. We're the Podguyz Podcast every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Oh, hey, Sparky.
Guys, we'll catch you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great night.